Okay, we are recording tonight is Team Lead and Love's monthly Zoom. It is November 16th, 2016. We have a lovely group of ladies on tonight. Thank you so much. And for anyone who's taking the time to listen to this, I thank you. I know that I believe your time is very precious, and so I'm excited that you're taking the time to listen to us and be here tonight. So we are in November, so I'm going to start with the success from October. We had great success in our team. First, we had Joy Harrington. I can't speak. Joy Harrington at Success Club 14. Joy. April Krubell. Woohoo. 11. Stephanie Stevens, changing 3 lives at 6. Laura Bates, changing 3 lives at 6. Myself, 6. Heidi Price, first month in the business, and Heidi changed 3 lives with Success Club 6. And James Krubell at 6. Also changing lives, we had Jenny Patton, whoop, whoop, Jenny at 2. Peter Harrington, rocking his live with 5 with Joy. I love those on Sunday evenings. With 2, Amy Lopez, woo, with 2, and Stephanie Hanna, yay Stephanie at 2, Kat Johnston at 2. I have a quick question about Kat's name in just a second too. Libby Nations at 2, and that is 31 lives changed for Team Lead and Love in October. You guys, that is awesome. We know we've been hearing it that October was a hard time, but we say poo-poo to that because it was awesome. 31 lives. I have a question real quick, April, now that you're on. This is the first time I'm thinking about it. Thank you. Her name is Rebecca, so when I mailed her something, I did it as Rebecca Johnston. So obviously she got it, so that's what I want to say. But I do say her name Kat because that's what it is on her Facebook. So if you guys are ever wondering, her name is Rebecca. So it comes up as Rebecca, I think, even on Facebook, right? I think if Facebook it says that. Okay, I have just a couple announcements, and then we're going to get into the content of our Zoom tonight, which is what I named it is how to keep momentum or create momentum if this is your first few weeks in the business during this season, particularly this holiday season. Okay, the first announcements I just have a few. The National Wake Up Calls, they are every Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Times, but you can listen to it on the podcast. So a lot of times I do catch that as well. You can get it, the Team Beachbody podcast, listen to them there. I highly recommend, if you've never listened to one yet, start with this previous Mondays, because Stephanie Chico was on there, and her 5 ways to handle change with strength and strategy. I'll tell you, even if your first day in the business or you've been in the business a year, you will take at least something from her call. And if you're not in a season of struggle, or you haven't even had change in your business yet, you have had change in your personal life. And so there'll be something from that call that would resonate with you. And I think it's so good. I'm starring it and saving it, and I'm just going to be going back to it all the time. It wasn't just, how to spruce up your challenge groups or anything like that. It was pretty much just how to better your life. But to lean into the Beachbody team when change happens, as it will. So also I have on our calendar, make sure we are marking it. Haven't posted it in the team page yet, but we did talk about this, I think, just with the Diamond leaders when we had our Diamond Zoom. We are officially having Diamond Zooms for Team Lead and Love. That's an announcement to make. So you all who have been in the business a little while know what a Diamond is. If you don't, ask your personally sponsored coach how to get to Diamond. It is a really big advancement, a rank advancement, a leadership role. It is a team leader role, and we are doing team leader roles, Zooms, Diamond Zooms, the first Thursday of the month at 1:30 p.m. PST. That can change in the future, but it was our first one, and it rocked. And on that Zoom, we talked about a lot of things, but we also talked about doing those kickoff Zooms again for our challenge groups. We loved those. We did kickoff ones and results ones for a couple months, maybe in the spring or summertime, whenever it was. And we decided to add it back. And so we're going to, even if you do a challenge in Vimify, even if you do it, wherever you do a challenge, it doesn't matter. You can join in with your challengers on our kickoff and results Zoom on December 4th. It's a Sunday. Most of our groups are finishing up around the same time right now. We're kind of getting on the same schedule as far as our 21-day groups. And so that will be from 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we'll be calling it like the kickoff and results Zoom. So the people that were in our current challenges, they can share their results. And then we'll kick off the new month because December 5th is our new kickoff one for the next month for December. Awesome. And one more announcement, and then I'll open it up if you have any questions or thoughts, or if I'm missing something. One other announcement, just debuting the announcement tonight, January 21st. Mark your calendars. If you are a local coach, or even if you're not local and you want to fly in to see us, we are having a Team Lead in Love live event. It will be at my house at 11 a.m. I am figuring out details, but I believe I know I'm not going to announce what it's going to do. Just put it on your calendar, January 21st, 11 a.m., my house. I'll get all the rest of the details to you as soon as I make a final decision of those things. Okay, any announcements, anything else? There's tons of announcements around Team Beachbody, but those are the ones I highlighted tonight. Is there anything you can think of that's immediate we need to announce to the team? Okay, I need a sip of water. 1 second. I was hoping you guys would have something. Just kidding. Okay, we are ready. We are going to get into the content tonight. Okay, so how to build or keep your momentum during this season. So I have a short video I'm going to share with you. So I'm going to share my screen because we're going to be very excited to see something here. If I can get to it. And it's not there. It's here. Do you see it? Okay, and then I'm not gonna have to. Okay, do you see who that is, Coach Caleb? Okay, good. We're gonna listen to just a quick video, Coach Caleb, because as I was searching for some, a lot of times when I have the idea of what I'm going to do on the Zoom, I sometimes will search YouTube just for some ideas, whatever, but I didn't want to take his whole idea and steal it, but I want to share him right now. So here we go. Everybody let me know with thumbs up if you can hear. No? You can't hear it? Shoot, you cannot hear it. You should be able to, because it's right here on my screen. Can you see him? And you could hear it for a moment? Oh, it's too low. Okay, this just means the volume's too low. Let me know now. Low? No. What else could be the problem? Just a second. Let me see if I can turn off something else. Maybe I can turn off Facebook. No. Haven't had that problem before. Let me see. It's just really low, right?
Are your headphones plugged in by chance?
No, I know. I unplugged them because that's the first thing I always think of. Let me just plug them in for a second and unplug them. Sometimes maybe like you can hear it, but it's super low.
It's almost like you can hear it in the background.
Oh.
But it's not even like it's low volume. It's like it's
okay, well, we can pass it because it's not that big of a deal. I'll kind of just summarize his story. Let me try it one more time, and if we cannot hear it, I will just summarize the story. It was just, of course, coming from him, you know.
For you guys, so here we go. So this is our analogy today. That's a water pump. Some of you may have used one of these. Some of you may have no idea what you're looking at. But basically, we don't have any running water here, so we have to hand pump our water into our sink to get fresh water, and it comes out of the ground. It's very cold. But anyway, your Beachbody Coach business is much like this water well. Check this out. When you first start your business, you're going to put some effort into it. You're going to pump like crazy, and nothing comes out. And you're thinking, why in the world am I doing this? Because I'm not getting anything, and there's no water coming out. But if you keep going, if you keep giving some effort in, you may get to the point, see, there's still nothing coming out. All of a sudden, oh, what was that? Oh, a trickle. Something just happened. and you still put a ton of effort in, and it doesn't seem like it was really worth it, but hey, something's happening here. But here's the cool part. If you keep going, you start getting flow. You start getting lots of water. And then, check it out. I am barely pumping this thing, and I have a constant stream of water. So coaches, I want to encourage you not to be discouraged if your water pump or if your business doesn't take off right at the beginning. It doesn't for anyone. You have to pump like crazy. You have to put effort in like crazy. You have to put time in. You have to work, and you probably won't get much in return right off the bat. Eventually, you'll start getting a trickle, and you'll still be questioning, is this really worth it? I'm not seeing the potential in this. This really doesn't seem like it's paying off. The time I'm putting in is not really giving me a return. It's the people that stick with it long term, get to that big flow of water, get to that, oh my gosh, the water is at the top of the well, and it's here, and it's pouring out, and now all I have to do is just pump a little tiny bit to maintain. Those are the Beachbody Coach business owners that really see it happen. And I want to encourage you, if you're in one of those first two stages where you're pumping like crazy and you're not getting anything for your effort, or you're pumping like crazy and you're just barely getting a little bit back for it, I want to encourage you, keep going, because you got to get to that last point where the water is there, and then it just goes, and you will actually be running to keep up with your business. So there's your water pump analogy. Again, encourage you guys to keep going, keep working, have faith in this business, because it's hard to see happening at the beginning stages. It's hard to really see coming to fruition at the end, but I tell you what, when you get to that point, it is so worth it. I hope this analogy made some sense to you guys, and have a great day. Work hard. Love you. Peace.
Okay. Everybody hear it okay? Awesome. Hi, Katie. Thanks for joining us. Okay, I'm just going to put these back in. I do better like this. Give me 1 second. Okay, so the reason I shared that is because I loved that analogy, and I could have just told you, but I liked being able to see that how the water was, right? So you see in the beginning that he's pumping really, really hard, and we can feel like that. Even a week into the business, sometimes our newer coaches can feel like they did so much, they did all the things that we told them to do the first 3, 4, 5 weeks, and they're not like, the water is not going to be flowing right away, right? And for us more seasoned coaches, we can hear that analogy and really know, and we can be like, wow, now the momentum is there, the water is flowing. We may not be in the place where we're actually running to catch up with it, but we're definitely going at a good speed. The water is coming and flowing now. So I just wanted to share a quick story about something about myself and my business when I look back, because I was thinking about this topic. I could give you a list of to-dos and things that I can come up with, that how I create momentum and how I've done it. But first, I just wanted to start with a story, because it's something that I haven't shared before with probably anybody. Maybe I have, but I just thought that it pertained to this, and it was in my head last night, so I just got it all out on my notes like 11:30 at night. I decided this is what I wanted to start with. Okay, so this is me 2 years ago at this very date. Not this exact day, but it was November of 2014. And I'd been a coach since June, and my husband and I, Bruce, we decided, I was working 10 years at a pharmacy, right? So my story is that I was working at a pharmacy as a pharmacy technician, and I went to my first Super Saturday, and I saw what the potential was with this business, that this was a business that I could become a CEO. And I hated my job. I felt stuck in it. And so I came home from that Super Saturday, told my husband about it. He was supportive that I could quit. So I'd given my notice already. So I'd already told my pharmacy I was working at Fred Meyer. I already told them that I was going to be quitting. I didn't do a 2 weeks notice. I think I did like a month's notice, but it's November 2014, and I had just gotten home from work, and I walked into the living room, and I look at my husband, and he's sitting at the dining room table. This is really hard. super emotional. Okay. He's sitting at the dining room table and he has a stack of bills in front of him. And you know, in that very moment, my heart dropped. I knew exactly what was happening. I knew that he was going to tell me I couldn't quit my job because here's all these bills, and my Beachbody business was not replacing my income at that time. We were making a huge leap of faith to say to my current job that I was going to quit. But we knew the potential was there with this business. I knew I was going to be able to replace my income and make the money that I needed to for my medical, for my husband and I to be then self-employed with the medical. But at that moment, when I walked into that living room, I knew he was telling me I couldn't quit. And he was saying, it's not the right time. Look at all these bills. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm so sorry. And of course, you know, I wasn't angry at him for that. But, so what did we do? So that was November, and I had always had, since going to Super Saturday, I didn't have an upline sponsor coach. She had quit. So I was kind of doing this business just on my own. But at that Super Saturday, I'd met Sheila. So Sheila started to mentor me. And so I knew at that time what it would mean to work consistently, which was to reach Success Club. And so I had already had a goal, and I'd already been reaching Success Club since day one, and not even knowing what it was the first couple months. And then, so November, I'm like November 10th or something, and I'm not going to quit. And I go back to work and I tell them that I can't quit, but I don't have a position at my job. So I had to, so details, but I had to switch pharmacies. Like it was a turmoil time. So what happened was in November, I lost momentum. I lost my why too, because I thought, wow, when will I be able to quit now? When will I be able to do this business full time then? Like what's going to be the date? And I didn't want to put that like burden on my husband, nor on myself. But I lost momentum. And the first thing I lost was my why and my passion and my joy. Those all kind of go together to me. And so it was my first month not reaching my Success Club goal. Didn't help 3 people. I think I helped 1 or 2. I can't remember. But it was my first time, and it was my first feeling like failure in this business. And that was really hard. And I didn't reach my Success Club goal in December. So for 2 months, this is 2 years ago, this is my first, like they say, this is hard season. So it's my first hard season in the business. And I'm like, I was trying to go through the motions. I wasn't giving up. I didn't cancel as a coach. I still had a team. I was Emerald, reaching for Diamond, obviously. But I lost momentum because I lost my why, and I allowed the circumstances of my life to derail me. But then I picked back up in January, and I worked really hard for 3 months, quit my job at the end of February, right? February 28th. So it was not much longer, but who would have known, like in November when I walked in and saw those bills, like that it would be February. So that was my story. So I just wanted to share that because it's a growing experience. It's a change, and it's showing you that we can lose momentum. Okay. So moving on, I wanted to share this formula that I saw from one of the coaches, but it's from a book called Entre Leadership by Dave Ramsey. And he uses this formula to speak of momentum. Okay, so let's see if you can see this real quick. It's my quick little drawing. Okay, it has an F and an I over T equals M. Can you see that okay? Fi over T equals M. So the F, it stands for focused. The I, it stands for intensity over time equals momentum. So what does that mean? So focused time. So this is kind of how I'm going to share what I will be doing, and I've noticed that I do now to create momentum. Focused intensity time over a time will create momentum. So number 1, so these are my tips. I'm just going to share them, and shouldn't be long. And then I'll ask you to share your tips, what you will do in this season, This is the fourth quarter. Like maybe you're a brand new coach and you don't know what that means, but this is like the fourth quarter of a game. This is the last quarter of the Team Beachbody world. And if there's big goals that people want to reach, there's maybe rank advancements, you have to reach them by a certain date as you're further in the business. So for me, my goal is 2-star diamond so I can go to leadership, and I have to reach that by 12/31. Also, my other big goal is Success Club Legend, and that's just 24 months in Success Club. And because I missed it, right, that November and December of 2014, I started over in January, and I've reached it every single month for 22 months and 23, 24. So by 12/31, I'll have that big goal that I've reached. I will reach it. So this is the fourth quarter. This is the fourth quarter of the game, and this is the season of the holidays. We sometimes maybe think, oh, I mean, some people in your team might be, or even around you might be saying, oh no, I'm not going to start that health and fitness thing until January. This could be a time that you see people losing steam, and you may be losing steam even in your own health and fitness. Or maybe you're not. Maybe I'm not even talking to you, and you'll be needing this in 5 months from now. You never know. So my number one tip is first the F, focused. Okay. So the focused time for me would be blocking out time to do Beachbody. Just because I was able to quit my job, and you may look at it and think, oh, she has all this time now, so you could work 8 hours. That's not how Beachbody works. I don't work 8 hours. So I stick to a blocked out time. I mean, I still have kids, I have a husband, I do church, I volunteer, I babysit 2 days a week for 10 hours. There for 10 hours, too long. And so number one is blocking out my time, focused time. And that doesn't have to be 2 hours. For me, it's 2 full hours. Doesn't have to be 2 hours. When I was working this business with working 36 hours and just brand new married for 9 months, I did 30 minutes in the morning, 45 minutes at my lunch break, half hour in the evening. Whatever the time is, even if you have pockets of 30 minutes, even if you have pockets of 15, you have to schedule it. Just like your workout, just like everything else in your life, an appointment at the doctor, you won't remember it or go to it unless you put it in your phone, put it on a calendar, something. I like to use the old paper and pen on this really cute passion planner with all my highlighters right here in front of me. And I take them with me on Thursdays to my babysitting job. They don't know this. On their nap time, I take all my highlighters, sit down with my planner, take it for 20 minutes, put all the little blocks on. Everything that I'm doing, I've gone through Rock the Basics, so I know what the focus. If you don't know what that is yet, you can ask us, get in Rock the Basics. It's what the focus, your 6 roles. My color highlighters are for each role, and it's on my calendar. So I block out time. I know when I'm doing Beachbody a week in advance. So blocking out time is my number one. I wrote down that my kids are not home when I'm doing it, so I can have a little bit more focused time. Maybe you have kids that are running around in front of you and talking to you, but you still need to maybe separate yourself from them for at least 30 minutes so that you can, I feel like I'm not, this world, the way it is, like we're doing so many things. There's so much stuff coming at us. Even the news feed can be distracting. So we have to have some type of quiet time, if it's before they wake up or after they go to bed. Short time, doesn't matter if you don't have 2 hours. Number 2 is remember my why, because I is intensity and passion. So intensity and passion and why is all the same for me. And I have to remember my why. I do this, and I write it down. So I wrote it down. I do this to continue to be able to work from home, because I know what it's like to go to a job I don't like, and I don't want to have to go out to a job again. And I want to be able to work from home. So I say not to have to ever go back to a job I felt stuck in and that I had no passion for. I want to be joyful about my job and about my mission, about my work. So that's my why. And so you will find that my goals are always to make sure that with intensity that I'm speaking about this to everyone I know with intensity, and that you can feel it on my posts. You can feel it on my social media, because I'm strongly passionate and I'm intensity, hopefully not too intense, and that they can feel it through your social media. So that's the I, is intensity. Number 3 is time. So you can have focused time. You can have intensity and passion and a strong why, but you cannot make millions and millions of dollars in a short amount of time. This is not a get rich quick. Time meaning over the consistency of time, over the calendar. So over time, meaning that moment when I walked in and I saw those bills sitting on that dining room table, I could have been like, screw this. Beachbody is not for me. It's not going to work. Have to go back to work. I had to change pharmacies. I had to not grovel, but I had to go back and say, oh, guess what? I'm retreating my 2 weeks notice. Do you have a position anywhere else? Because I can't quit this job right now. So that I transferred to another pharmacy. Had to go every single day. That was like 10 times worse those days than it was before I gave the notice. But I could have just said, you know what? Forget it. It didn't work for me. I tried this for 6-7 months and now I'm not going to do it. If I would have quit then, you all wouldn't be here. Every single one of you. Stephanie wasn't even on this team yet. And she's the first one out of all of you guys. Jenny would have been here only, but that's it. No one is even still here from those days. So over consistency, that's the focused intensity over time, over a long period of time. Whether you came in last week and you sat down with your coach and you had a GSR and she said, give this 6 months to a year. I hope she said, give it a year, because if I would have given it 6 months, I wouldn't still be here. And I gave it a year. And I was able to quit my job in 9 months, and I wasn't done just because I quit my job and I was a diamond. It's all of a sudden the money wasn't just rolling in. But I'm going to be here for the long haul. So you decide that for yourself. I can't tell you whether that's it, but I know with focused intensity for a long time, I will reach tons and tons more goals, and I will have way more people on this team, 500, 1,000 people, and we'll be able to change more lives. That's number 3 is time. So over a season, I wrote down that I'm fiercely committed to giving my all to my nutrition and my exercise during this season. I had a season in the summer that I was inconsistent with my workouts, inconsistent with my nutrition, life things were getting in the way, depression was getting in the way, anxiety was getting in the way, and I'm fighting depression during this dark season. This is a hard time for a lot of people, especially us that live in the Northwest. And so I'm fiercely committed to the consistency of my core to force workouts and my nutrition. And so you have to have some program that you're excited about. If you're not excited about the program you're doing, don't do it. Just like the book I said, that's my idea is if I'm reading a book and I'm little ways into it and it's not doing it for me, I'm done. And kind of maybe not with the program, but you have to at least get it to 2 weeks, but be consistent over time. That is what I have. 1, 2, 3. That's the FIT equals momentum. I got momentum for this season. What about you? Okay, so who wants to share what they thought about and wanted to share about for your momentum during this season? I will call on you if you don't raise your hand. I will start with Stephanie Stevens. Trying to be I thought you were an A student.
Oh, I am. I'm an overachiever. But that's actually an issue when my teachers actually talk to me about it. So, okay. So I just wrote down a few. I don't know how many do you want me to share?
Oh, sure. Whatever. 1, 2, 3, whatever you want. I only shared 3.
Okay. So leaning into my team, that's super important to me. I learned a big lesson on that in August and September when I was going through my season. And so I think it's really important that I practice that even when it's not hard. And actually that's the topic of my team Zoom this week, is leaning into each other and the importance of that and how it changed my life and my business. So I'm going to continue to practice that even when things are great, which is I think super important for all of us. Continuing to be consistent and showing up. So showing up with that consistency, like on social media. I mean, that's how I get my laundry folded. That's how I do anything, is by showing up on social media and asking for people to hold me accountable. So I'm going to remain consistent in that. I said a lot of stuff that you said. And remembering that it works for me, that's one of my biggest whys, is like this, going back to my roots. Beachbody changed my life as a challenger and as a human before I became a coach. And so going back there when I'm really overwhelmed, and remembering to that self-care piece that we practice and that we teach our challengers to practice, going back to sort of that challenger position in my like Zen moment of just, okay, I'm a challenger right now. So what do I need to do to take care of me? Because I've tried everything. I've done everything. I've never stuck to anything for 18 months ever. So I know it works, and I just have to go back to those roots to remember why. That's it. That's all I got.
I love it. Look how similar it was to mine too. Yep.
Yeah.
Consistency, showing up on social media, leaning into your team, and remembering that it works. That is so good. And remembering what it was like when we were challengers.
Mm-hmm.
That's so good. Thank you so much. I wrote that down because I'm going to add these all together for us all to share. Okay, April, you're next on my screen. Can I call on you? I can't hear you.
Oh, I don't know why.
I can now.
Oh, okay. So we're going to see some overlap, obviously, here. But one of the things that I want to remember is I know that we oftentimes get really caught up in what we assume is going on with others. Oh, it's the holidays. Oh, they're going to be too busy. Oh, they're going to not be motivated. Oh, the weather's garbage, so they're feeling yucky. And that may be true. It's not true for everybody, though. And I want to remind myself that I don't want to just write off inspiring others, because I know that there are people out there who want it right now. They want it right now. Whether they know it or not, they want it right now. And that this is a gift to them. And seeing it that way, like Steph was saying, that this is something that's really amazing. And for me as well, it's the only thing I've ever stuck with this long. Enjoyably stuck with, not just forcing myself to stick to it. I mean, there are days. But and then the other thing is to be, and it kind of goes with this, but being bold in action. Not being afraid to take action. Recently, I posted on Team Lead and Love where I made a video for leads, and it wasn't something.
April, you're frozen for me. Is she frozen for you? Oh, okay. Okay, hopefully we'll get her back. She's completely frozen. Let's give it a second here. It'll probably kick her off and get her back on.
That I'll probably use for very long. I'll probably redo it. Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. You're back.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
I hear you now.
All right. Let me see if I can
Go
finish.
ahead.
I don't know where I was. I said be bold in action.
That's where you were.
So I made the lead video that I sent to free leads, and it wasn't perfect. It wasn't something that I'll use for very long. I'll want to make something nicer later, but I was bold in that action. I was like, it needs to get done. I'm doing it now. I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to put this on the 2017 list. This is now. I'm doing it now. So I'm going to talk to those people. I'm not going to say, oh, they'll probably want me to wait until January. I'm going to do it now. So, so those are my two things. That's it.
I love it. Being bold in action. And I just put, don't write off inspiring others. Love it. Thank you. Katie, do you want to share? You're next.
Okay. I didn't really come prepared.
Oh, that's okay.
On, so.
Okay. If you want Amy to go first and you think longer, we're just sharing how we're going to either build or keep momentum during this season.
For me, I'm just gonna keep focusing on my own journey and sharing it, and then inviting anybody that wants to join me and start their own. So
good.
That's what I'm focusing on now.
What are you doing right now? What is your program that you're doing?
Pio.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I love that. Focus on your own journey, invite others. Yeah, so don't slow down in inviting them. Keep on inviting them even during this time. I like that. Awesome. Thank you so much. Amy, it's all you.
Okay. Two things. My two things. Well, of course, I'm gonna say personal development.
That's your answer for everything. So it's always a good answer. It always goes.
I snort laughed.
I need to laugh.
Oh no, but seriously, like if you're always listening to stuff, like if you're listening to your national league, if you're listening to the people, if you're listening to the people, like I was even talking to Stephanie, I was like, oh, we're missing the Team Rockstar Fit Zoom tonight. I was like, I'll just listen onto the pod because they do it on a podcast. So I'll just listen to my podcast. And then on their podcast, they do opportunity calls. You can always listen to people. And if you're constantly listening to people, it's going to keep that inspiration going.
So good.
And audiobooks. The audiobooks are good too for keeping you like jazzed. Yes.
Love it. Nobody talked about personal development. Only Amy. I didn't even talk about that.
Talking, I know.
So good. Is that what you had? You said two things. I put them as one. Personal development.
And my second thing, I was gonna share that today I invited somebody to date me as a success partner.
That's awesome.
So I'm branching out to like, I mean, like doing the power hours, especially as a team, since when we've been doing that over the last, doing it in October and this month, that's been so helpful. So just adding that, I mean, I've been saying I do want to get a success partner. I've been saying that I'm going to do this, and I wrote a little ad and gave it to Stephanie, and there weren't any bites. I think I could have put something out on the bigger team page, but I didn't. I think there was some fear of like, oh, what if I have to wade through a bunch of people, or, what if nobody says anything? So I kind of wanted to pick I picked my own person. And so we're going to talk and maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't, but I'll just at least I did the first step. And so
that's so awesome. That's so awesome. That was bold in your action.
Yeah.
And taking action now instead of waiting for someone to come to you.
Yes. And just having someone to, I mean, of course my coach checks on me constantly, but yeah, having somebody else that's not my coach.
Yeah. It's awesome. I love my success partner. Had a meeting with her today. We cried, we laughed, everything. It's so good. It's so powerful.
Yeah.
So powerful. I'm going to go visit her hopefully soon. I highly recommend success partners. I love this. So good. I wrote down all of your notes. Anybody have any last minute things they want to add? Because we can make it short, totally fine. And then we can stop recording and just chit chat. Let me think if there was any last thing that I wanted to say. I'm going to put these all together, and I'll either put it in a post or in a graphic, something like that for our team to share, because I love everybody putting their things in together. And I see a theme here, and a lot of it is the things that we already are doing. I love that we're not like creating new systems. I didn't know what I was going to get from everybody. I didn't know if they're going to have a list of like to-dos. I love what you guys brought to the table. And I can add them to what I have. And then whenever we're having hard days, you can just look at it and say, we create our own momentum. That was the other thing, as I shared in my Fit Girl community today. I started up another little Fit Girl community, and was that whole thought about you don't wait to get motivation. You have to just act, and you do the actions, and then you do the actions, and then you do the action again. And then over time, you just get momentum. When we know that as coaches, because we do that with our own health and fitness.
Well, Brendan says a power plant doesn't have energy. It creates.
Yes.
energy.
Generates. Yep.
It generates. You generate your own momentum. Oh, hello.
And it's everything. I mean, you generate your own joy. You generate your own energy. You generate all the stuff by doing something. Even if it's like what you were saying, I love that quote, something about imperfect inaction is better than, does anyone know how it goes? Imperfect inaction is better than perfect action.
Inaction.
Yeah. So it's just doing something, and I believe it's doing it with joy. So creating your own joy, because I was doing the things 2 years ago during the season. I was still kind of showing up halfway in, halfway out, because I was really depressed and upset that I wasn't being able to quit. And I was resentful. I started getting resentful about the business and about my husband, saying I couldn't do it. And I'm like, why can't you figure it out? But obviously we're a team. But I was becoming resentful, and I was losing joy. And so probably, that was why I wasn't reaching my goal, because I probably wasn't doing good social media. That's the reason why these are my things, because I brought it all back to the time when I was losing the momentum. And it's a slow process. It doesn't just happen overnight that you lose momentum. You're not going to wake up tomorrow and go, actually, never mind, I am not going to do another fitness program again. Like, that's not how it works. And hopefully you're not going to wake up tomorrow and go, I'm just going to quit this Beachbody thing. Like the people here in front of me, maybe somebody who just started a week ago, because they didn't even create any action and any momentum yet. But we're not going to do that. And so it's a slow process, that the stopping, slowing down, losing joy, and then you're like, I don't have any momentum anymore. Well, yeah, because this is what happened, and this is how it started. And you look back and you're like, this is why. So anyway, I could go on and on, but we're at 7:53. I'll stop recording. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Yeah, that's all I have. Okay, have a good night.